What is happening, fellas? Week 11, fantasy football. You know what it is. We're going to be going through as many start-sit discussions as we can. Danny is flexing his new 70th Dallas Cowboys jersey that he owns, this time a Dak Prescott. Do you actually not have a Dak jersey before? That's actually very
Dude,
surprising to me.
I've been trying to get a Dak jersey for so long. I just never actually did. So we're at the outlets after going to the Pistons Cavs game. We like the following day. We go to the outlets. I could literally get any clothes I want. I end up with a Dak jersey because like that's exactly what I would do.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, going to Cleveland, experience the new city and just buys a Dallas Cowboys jersey because he's Danny. So, as we always do, we're going to rip through our superlatives, and then we'll spend the rest of the time going through your guys' questions. Let's kick things off. Locks of the week. Mine, Buccaneers, 49ers, over 41.5 points. This is basically a bet against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers passing defense because I do not think we will be able to hold the 49ers through the air to less than 25 to 30 points in this game. Like, the way that we've played, like, we're inconsistent. Like, there'll be games where you'll be like, damn, this is the best defense in the league. And then there'll also be games like the Texans game where we get absolutely lit up for like 37 points or whatever it was. And I also think too, the Bucs are implied for like 14 or 18 points in this game. I think we can score more than that against the 49ers defense. So however you slice it, the Bucs are 13.5 point underdogs. I also like them against the spread, but I actually like the over in this game a lot more because I think I feel confident the 49ers can put up 30 on our defense. And I feel confident that if we can get going, we can put up 20, 25, and that would both cover the spread and hit the over. So I like that as my lock of the week.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. Although both teams are probably arguably the top two teams that stop in the run in the NFL. I mean, the Bucs obviously do their thing. San Francisco 49ers do their thing.
Yeah, Eagles and Ravens are both better than the 49ers at stopping the
top
run,
five,
but
then,
the 49ers
regardless.
definitely a top-end team at stopping the run. The way we've actually been using Rachaad White lately, it probably won't factor in all that much, to be honest.
That's what I mean.
We're finally using him the way he should have been used the whole time. It's like the Jahmyr Gibbs, DeAndre Swift type of usage that we needed to use him like.
Well, that's kind of what I was referring to, right? Basically, you guys are using White more in space. Both teams are going to be throwing the ball because, like I said, you guys are both pass funnel defenses. If you think about it, the 49ers, if you're going to beat them, you're going to throw outside the numbers. For you guys, I mean, you're not going to run the ball at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers front. So inherently, when we know teams are going to go towards the passing game in these types of games, we usually see higher pace. We usually see more points. We usually see, I mean, it's just a more efficient play at the end of the day. If you're passing more times than you're running, you're getting more yards on average. So
yeah, and they're both fast-paced offenses with turnover-prone quarterbacks, which generally leads to
for sure
leads to points as well. So yeah, I like the lock there. 41.5, the Buccaneers over. I have them in one of my parlays as well. So Danny going shocker. Here comes you guys can see the jerseys behind me discussion. Who you got as your lock of the week?
Yeah, and my lock of the week, it's tough to bet against the best coach in the NFL, arguably. It's second or third, maybe, if you consider Belichick there. And the best quarterback in the NFL, coming off a bye, at home, high-profile game. I got the Chiefs minus 2.5. And listen, this is no disrespect to the Eagles. They're obviously a fantastic team in their own right. But the Chiefs are right in the ship, man. The offense got the bye week to figure it out. I trust Andy Reid in this big spot. I trust Patrick Mahomes in this big spot. And in a competitive AFC, this is a must-win game for them. Like, they have to go build momentum moving forward. If they want the 1 seed, the Ravens aren't going to give it up for free.
Yeah, it's really difficult to imagine that the Ravens are just going to lie down and die without Mark Andrews. So yeah, you got the AFC at the top. It's getting a little weird because the Bengals are now probably out of the mix. The Bills haven't been good. Like, it's not the teams necessarily that we expected to be all in the race for the 1 seed, but it's still a very competitive conference. Like, teams like the Broncos and Raiders, like, they're not guaranteed wins. Like, there's very few like horrible, disastrous operations around the AFC. Like, they're all functional teams.
There's no Giants.
It's hard to just like lock yourself into all these wins. Like, the only like really bad team in the AFC is the Patriots.
Yeah, which have good coaching and could always sneak out a random one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I like that game. I know a lot of people, it's like, dude, anytime Patrick Mahomes is less than a touchdown favorite, like, you probably should, like, at home in Arrowhead, you should probably take him to cover the spread there. And I guess, like, by that logic, the Eagles would be 2.5 point favorites if this game were in Philadelphia. So should be an interesting, obviously a Super Bowl rematch. So it should be a pretty fun one to keep an eye on there. Underdog of the week here. We got Cardinals money line versus the Houston Texans. That game has the highest over under on the slate. It actually has since moved down a little bit. I think it opened around 48.5, 49. I think it's sitting 48 right now, or 48.5, depending on the book that you're looking at. But I think the Cardinals have a good enough team to win this game. And I know the Texans have been like absolutely like on fuego lately, and they've been so good, especially on offense. But I will say, I think the Cardinals are a better offense on paper when you look at like the experience that their quarterback has, the weapons group that they have. They're able to run the ball a lot better, although Devin Singletary did have a great game last week, and I need him actually again to do the same thing in my home league. But I don't know. I think the Cardinals getting 5.5 points, like maybe you could just take them to cover the spread, but I really do think they have a chance to just outright win this game. I think these are both two evenly matched teams. Now that Kyler Murray is back, I actually would vault the Cardinals all the way up into the stratosphere of a team of the caliber of Houston, even though they were, in line to have the first pick in the draft prior to Kyler Murray getting back there.
Well, they're a feisty team with Kyler Murray at quarterback. Obviously, not having Michael Wilson for this game will stink to a certain degree. But at the same time, I mean, Trey McBride has really established himself in recent weeks. We know Marquise Brown is the one. We'll get into him in a second as well. Like, they still have weapons, even if Michael Wilson's not going to be that primary boundary receiver. We know Kyler Murray can buy time. And like you kind of said, the Sharps actually favor Arizona's money line 58% at the plus 197. Obviously, you're building in the value there regardless, but I think they're comparable teams. Again, I would slightly lean Houston face value, but they have a good enough quarterback, Arizona does, to outright win this game. So I do like that bet for you. My underdog pick of the week is actually going to be a feisty one. We are going with a touchdown dog this week. Want to swing for the fences, want to go for the 2 points. I'm trusting Bears money line against the Detroit Lions. Obviously, the Detroit team is very, very good. This is no disrespect to them, but it's a divisional game. The Bears get their quarterback back, and they've been playing a lot more competitive football in recent weeks. So I do think that the Bears, a lot of pride to play for in this game. Obviously, Eberflus basically coaching on his last legs at this point. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they walked in. It was a 21-17 type of game, and they took away the dub.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, for what it's worth, last year snapped against the Bears. And there was one game specifically where he like did everything he could, and like they couldn't believe they lost that game with how well Justin Fields played. I think he had like a 45-point fantasy performance or something like that. And not only do they get Justin Fields back, they get Khalil Herbert back, who actually has been really good this year when he's been on the field as their main running back. And Deontay Foreman looks like he'll be active as well. So if they can get the run game going, if they can get Justin Fields going in the pass game, DJ Moore has been kind of off the grid for the last couple of games because of what they've been dealing with Tyson Bagent. Obviously, it's hamstrung their offense. I think I talked about DJ Moore in the wide receiver tier list video as a guy that's probably a pretty decent buy low right now, because there's probably a sentiment around DJ Moore that he's like a mid wide receiver 3, low end wide receiver 3. But we've seen what the ceiling can be when Justin Fields is on the gridiron there, and it's been really good. We've seen that Thursday night game where DJ Moore went absolutely berserk, and things were starting to heat up for DJ Moore, and then it was taken away when Justin Fields got injured. So it could take some time again to get that going, but I will say, like, he has the ability to really kind of sun run the rest of the season with the way that the Bears have kind of stacked up the rest of their schedule here. And also, of course, like, this underdog pick of the week is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy, so check them out. If you are a new customer, you can get access to this half total yard pick'em for Russell Wilson on Sunday Night Football tonight. So you can build out a pick'em slip. And of course, when you sign up, use promo code FSE. If you put in $50, they'll give you 100. If you put in 100, they'll give you 200. It's a 100% match back by using our promo code. So definitely check that out. Moving on to our Going Nuts picks of the week here, of course, presented by Manscaped. Promo code Bush will get you 20% off plus free shipping over there. My Going Nuts picks, I mean, I don't even know why I'm still doing them at this point, because I'm literally 1-8 every time I say a player is going nuts. He doesn't end up doing it. And I got to stop picking players on my home league team, because I did it last week with Calvin Ridley. Obviously, he did nothing. And Brandon Ayuk also on my home league team. And I'm saying he's going nuts today against the Buccaneers. I like the over in that game. I think the Bucs will have problems against a receiver of his caliber, and especially his skill set, a yards after catch, explosive, big play down the field threat like him. The Bucs, if I had a nickel for every time we bust a coverage, dude, I would be very, very wealthy. And I think I'm expecting a busted coverage 80-yard touchdown type of performance from Brandon Ayuk this week. And he's my Going Nuts pick. And again, Going Nuts, the way that this works, you guys let me know in the chat. If he goes for 20 plus PPR points, do I get 1 point, 2 point, or 3 points? 3 points being it's a really spicy take, 1 point being it's not a spicy take, and then 2 being somewhere in the middle. So let me know down below. Danny, what are you doing Going Nuts this week?
Sorry, this just had me laughing. Great, thanks, Bush. Now I got to take Ayuk out of my DFS lineups. All jokes aside, okay, the reason why Corey is doing that is I do play him in the listener league. I do have Brendan Ayuk. He's trying to get that little bit jumbo out in the air, 1-8. Trying to get that. All jokes aside, though, Brendan Ayuk, I do like that pick. My Going Nuts pick of the week is going to be, correlation to your Cardinals money line pick. I do like the Cardinals money line. I do think that's a very strong bet. And Marquise Brown, I do think is going to go off in this game. Again, like I mentioned, no Michael Wilson in this game. Obviously, Trey McBride's been having a very good stretch. However, Marquise Brown starting to get that rhythm back with Kyler Murray. Got targeted heavily, just wasn't really on the same page this past week. I do think he's able to bink and maybe go for 7 catches, 110 yards, maybe a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Marquise Brown was, I believe it was one of our safe plays or going nuts last week because we thought he was a really good option. I still think he is. Like this game, high over under, like you said, it's going to be a good game environment for scoring. And I think Marquise Brown could really get on track. And I still think he's one of the better buy lows in fantasy. So obviously in the next hour before this game gets kicked off, or maybe it's kicked off at 4, I'm not exactly sure. Can you guys switch? I'm against Hollywood this week. Yeah.
Love that.
That's good. You've been decent on your going nuts picks. I have not, of course. Safe plays of the week. Again, presented by Aura. Cybersecurity is really important nowadays. Definitely check them out. Link down below in the description for a 14-day free trial. My safe play of the week. Again, I'm reverse jinxing my home league team here. I have Devin Singletary on my team. And I think Devin Singletary is a very safe option this week because he's got 75% and 81% of the Texans snaps the last 2 games. Dameon Pierce not going to play in this one. He was ruled out on Friday, so even maybe not going to be back for a little bit. And Devin Singletary was really good last week. 30 carries, 150 yards against a pretty good Bengals run defense. And the Cardinals are not a good run defense. They are one of, if not the worst run defense in the league. And Devin Singletary is getting the role. He's getting the volume, and it's a 48.5 point over-under game. So I think Devin Singletary is a good bet to score a touchdown this week. I think he's a good bet to get a number of volume options here. And for a safe play, all he has to do is finish as a top 24 back. And I honestly, like outside of injury, I don't see how he doesn't.
Yeah, I like that pick as well. The workload's going to be there. You got to hope that the efficiency's there like it was last week. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, that just might be a good sign that the Texans' offensive line starting to get healthy, starting to find their groove. Obviously, first year under, Bobby Slowick, but under D'Amico Ryans. Had some learning curve. So I don't mind that at all as well. My safe play of the week presented by Aura is actually going to be Christian Kirk. Going up against that Tennessee Titans pass funnel defense. He is the consistent wide receiver. He kind of just feels like a safe play when you put him in your lineup.
Is. He literally he shits and eats and breathes 6 for 90.
That's what I mean. Like 8 to 11 targets, 6 for 90, just get you the 15 PPR points. And I think it's going to happen again this week, Christian Kirk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm selfishly hoping that Calvin Ridley has a good game, but I also think that it's probably way more likely that Christian Kirk does. So
I may or may not
13, I believe, on the week.
I may or may not have just traded for Christian Kirk in my home league. I actually told you about that prior to the stream, but letting the stream know that.
These locks and going nuts picks, they're just a formality for us to hype up our own players, basically, is what we're saying here with these. So again, those are superlatives of the week. We will speed through some questions now for the rest of the stream. Brandon was the first one in here with a super chat, and then we'll get back to the top of the order. He says, hey guys, would you trade away Lamb, Ridley, and Charbonnet to get Jahmyr Gibbs and Jalen Waddle? I personally would not. I think
I want to hold Lamb, man.
Yeah, that's basically my rationale. Lamb is the best asset in this deal. Is Jalen Waddle better than Calvin Ridley? Yeah. But Charbonnet is a very, very good high leverage handcuff. And I think Ridley and Charbonnet for Waddle is like, again, I might take Waddle there, but I also think Lamb is pretty well above Jahmyr Gibbs also.
Yeah, no, I would agree there. With CeeDee Lamb, dude, I think you can make the argument that he's the wide receiver 2 the rest of the season. Like, obviously with Justin Jefferson now, he might not get activated next week. They have the bye week the week after. What CeeDee Lamb's been able to do with the upcoming stretch the Cowboys have, they're going to need to inherently throw the football. And I think they're comfortable with that. We've seen their pass rate over expectations since the bye week be the #1 team in the entire NFL. They're throwing the ball across the yard. Obviously, Dak is playing at a near MVP level at this rate. Like, what he's been able to do since that bye week, that connection with CeeDee Lamb, they are clearly on the same page. I've saw JT O'Sullivan broke it down. Underdog broke it down. Chase Daniel broke it down. Like, the chemistry that they're playing with right now is up there with some of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. And I don't see any reason why that won't continue, especially this week, going up against the Panthers secondary without the top 3 corners. It might get ugly.
Yeah, I could definitely, I could see that game being pretty boat racy. Knowing that, I mean, the Panthers are desperate to do anything right now. They're just trying to like spark their play calling. And this is the type of game where the Cowboys, like you look on red zone, if you have Adam Thielen, you're like, I swear to God, the Panthers have not had the ball the whole game. Like I think that's how it's going to feel. And hopefully, God, let's do prayer circle right now. Tony Pollard, do something. Do something, please.
I had to jokingly send you the tweet of CeeDee Lamb saying we're going to get TP going because that was like a glimmer of hope I could hold on to, because otherwise, I mean, there's nothing to give hope so far. So,
yeah, dude, if Tony Pollard doesn't do something soon, like we're all going to be mad.
So fellas, need a boom: Henry, Terry, or Rice.
If you need a boom performance, Derrick Henry's got to be your guy.
It's got to be again. It would be so much easier.
I think Terry's a great play this week, though, for what it's worth. If this is full PPR and you needed a boom performance, like you could make the argument that Terry actually has just as high of a ceiling. Yeah. Henry is a 7-point underdog against Jacksonville. They just came off an embarrassing loss to the 49ers. I think that Henry is way more volatile, but if you need a boom performance, I think he would probably be the guy that I would go with.
I would agree. I mean, historically, we know what he's able to do against the Jaguars. Obviously, the Jaguars front this year compared to previous years is a lot more stout, which gives me a little bit of pause. Not to mention the Titans' offense is worse than it's been in previous years. But I mean, sometimes you just got to put the king in the lineup and trust that it'll get it done. Sometimes it just comes down to that. You need your studs to perform. Fields or Howell? Who would I have higher? They're both in like the 10 to 15 range. I have Howell at 14, Fields at 15. The only reason I have Fields at 15 this week, I just want to see 1 week. If I see 1 week, he looks mobile, it looks like he's throwing the ball well, I'll raise him. But there's just so many good quarterback options this week. It's not even.
There is a lot of good quarterback options this week, and I have Sam Howell in my top 12, so I have him a little bit higher than you do.
So you have my option there. You have Howell over Dobbs and Goff?
I have him over Dobbs. Yes, I do have. No, sorry, I have Goff at 11. So I have him over Dobbs.
Purdy?
Yes, I have him over Purdy. Yeah.
That's why I have higher. Which seems weird because you're the Purdy guy.
I am the Purdy guy, but I recognize that there's a range of outcomes where the Bucs defense does show up pretty well because they can. Like they're always capable. And I watched somebody do a tape breakdown of Kalijah Kancey, his first couple games, and he's been really good so far. It's so crazy because I look at his PFF grade and he's got like a 37 PFF grade or something like that. I don't know what it is with pass rushers and interior defensive linemen, but if you can't stop the run, PFF buries you in the rankings.
Dude, PFF's grades sometimes make no sense.
It's weird because I think they're good for some position groups. Like I actually think their wide receiver grades are generally pretty good.
Wide receivers,
same with their running back grades. I think they're generally pretty good. But then when I go to like defensive linemen and linebackers, I'm like, are you guys brain dead?
It's more so the positions where you can, where it's tough to subjectively like analyze. Like for example, with running backs, it's easy to see if you break a tackle, if you make somebody miss, you can grade that. For wide receivers,
to be like, oh, the expected yards on this run were like probably 4, and you got 8. Like that is a good running back kind of move. But yeah, like I'm watching Kalijah Kancey's tape, and the guy's generating hurries and pressures literally every pass rush rep, and he's got like a 37 PFF grade. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Dude, it's nuts. Like, especially corner. Dude, they do not know how to judge corners. It makes no sense.
Maybe it's just all defense. We just abolished defensive PFF.
Quarterbacks are weird too, man. Because like, how do you analyze an on-target throw? Like, what? How do you know he's not throwing
quarterbacks are janky too?
Well, because like, how do you know he's just not throwing it back shoulder and trusting his guy for a 50-50 completion/incompletion? Oh, yeah, that's off target.
It's difficult, but I've noticed like when I was watching the Bucs defense as a whole, because I was watching Kancey obviously in the tape breakdown, but I'm seeing like just what 54 does on a down and down out basis. Levante David is having the best season of his career at 33 years old, and I think he's been the bar none best inside linebacker in the league this year. Like if he's not a first team All Pro, this is why he might not get into the Hall of Fame, because like I have not seen an inside linebacker play this well in a long time.
Warner and him are the clear top 2, I would say.
He's having a better season than Warner, though. The guy is literally like shooting every gap on every run play. I have not seen the guy miss a tackle the entire season. Every time he gets his hands on you, you're on the ground. He's making more splash plays than he typically does, but because he's not on a great team and he doesn't have like interception return for touchdown, like the splash plays he's making are, being in the right place at the right time, taking on a defender, somebody
limiting
else
a 5-yard run to a 2-1
or something like that.
Limiting a 5-yard run to a 2-yard run.
Yeah. Right? And like, he's been outstanding, man. He's been so good. Anyways, let's get back to it. It's the Nemesis says Rashee Rice or Pacheco full PPR.
You gotta go Pacheco, but like if Rice gets more snaps this week, like I have to raise him even higher.
Oh yeah. Post bye rookie bump could be huge for Rashee Rice, but until we see him get more than 60% of the snaps, I can't play a guy who is getting 60% of the snaps at running back and getting 15 to 20 carries a game, because that's what Pacheco's getting. Even though it's a brutal matchup, like he's probably got to be your option there.
Yep. You do not trade Kyler for that. You treat Kyler like a legitimate fringe first round startup pick because that's what he's
Isn't
going
it
to be rest
hilarious?
of the
Okay,
way.
so one last sidebar here. Isn't it hilarious to me that the second
So
Kyler Murray is
predictable.
back, he's
So
on
predictable.
par with Joe Burrow in value now? But like we didn't all see
I
this coming. Like it wasn't
I
already like going to happen.
a couple leagues I've seen him flipped for Burrow straight up.
No, that's what I mean. Because the
Yeah.
big talk was if you have Joe Burrow, sell him for Kyler Murray because it's an equivalent value. You sacrifice a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe, but you're getting a win now quarterback. But I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, do you guys remember where we were at with Kyler like 3 weeks ago? You guys seriously didn't think that this was a reasonable outcome that people would be saying he's on par with Joe Burrow in value when all summer and like how many times during this winter when we were doing Dynasty Decisions episodes would somebody say, I got Kyler at the 406 in my Superflex startup?
Well, that's the problem I have with doing it straight up personally is it's not that, oh, when Kyler's on the field, he's not a distinct difference maker in your lineup. I agree with that. He's absolutely at that level. The problem that I have is when Kyler's at his depressed cost, the market tanks him. When Joe Burrow's at his depressed cost, he's still a mid to late first round pick. That's the problem I have. So by trading Burrow for Kyler Murray, you eliminate every single bit of your leverage on potential market volatility.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why me and you take that stuff so seriously and factor it in more to our rankings is because of how much we trade. Like, I feel like in leagues where like people aren't trading, that stuff doesn't matter quite as much.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which is maybe an underrated thing that we should maybe focus on a little bit more in our analysis. But I will say, like, we think about that stuff because we're always trading. And we're like, if Kyler is suddenly a third round startup value instead of a first round startup value in a league that never trades, they probably don't give a shit. They're like, if I believe in Kyler Murray, I believe in Kyler Murray and I'm not going to trade him. But for us, we're like, I want to have a piece that I could go after maybe like, cause if let's say Patrick Mahomes got injured or Josh Allen got injured, Jalen Hurts got injured, we would want to have a guy like Kyler Murray who has a late first round, early second round startup value to use to tier up to one of those guys. And if his value is also depressed, then we can't do that. But if people don't trade in your league, then it doesn't factor in as much.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely an interesting discussion about that because in more active leagues, like you said, I am not willing to take on the volatility unless you give me a pretty solid premium to take on that risk. Right. Because otherwise it's like,
you almost always regret those trades. Like I literally regret like the trade I regret most is the one I made with you in Tone Setters last year. Like of the last like calendar year, the trade I regret most is when Danny traded me Justin Fields and George Kittle and a third round pick, which eventually became Brock Purdy because I flipped it to Danny for Brock Purdy. So we'll just say it was Brock Purdy. But I gave him Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts has virtually no volatility. And we've seen the roller coaster ride that Justin Fields has been. And that makes you really regret those moves because those assets are so few and far between in Dynasty. And yeah, I thought at the time Justin Fields could become one of those assets, but it was no guarantee. Like, and a lot of people tweeted out stuff like, oh, I believe in Justin Fields, so I'm going to sell Jalen Hurts for Justin Fields and Derrick Henry.
I think exactly
that was the one trade that Guru made or whatever. And I was like, dude, this is a bad process trade, bro. Like,
well, dude, it was there was another similar one yesterday. Again, no disrespect. Again, he's a good analyst. Like, I'm not like throwing shade here. I'm just like poking fun because like we got into the conversation last year, and obviously now you look back on it like, holy fuck. Yeah. I think he recently made a deal of Andrews for McBride straight up. And I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, you're accepting the fact that you're holding all of the risk there. Like if Trey McBride in the next 3 games has 11 targets, 35 yards per game, like he's what, tight end 6 in Dynasty? Mark Andrews could literally not play until the middle of next year, and he'd probably be the tight end 4 at minimum.
Yeah, no, it's crazy when people don't factor in downside risk to their decision making because like literally we updated our dynasty rankings this past week and put out a big update. Like I'm pretty sure Trey McBride was in like the mid-teens of my dynasty rankings prior to this, maybe the late teens of my dynasty tight end rankings prior to this recent update. So like that's how quickly his value has ascended. That's also how quickly his value could descend if he doesn't put it together. If the rest of the season he's like, okay, he's like tight end 11 in points per game the rest of the year, like he's not going to be a top 5 dynasty tight end like I've seen some people argue.
Yeah, I mean, like if he keeps playing at the pace he has been, like there's absolutely the upside case scenario. But I mean, that's literally just not baking in any downside risk. Like
especially at this position, like a wide receiver or like, when you see a young wide receiver perform, I'm a little bit more likely to buy in right away.
Tight end is a lot more situational.
Tight end is just such a wasteland most of the time that like, unless you do it for multiple years, like those types of guys are so valuable, which is why I'm notoriously buying George Kittle every chance I can get because he's just good every single year. And no tight ends are like that outside of the really expensive guys. So, anyways, again, side tangent. Let's get back to some questions. Pollard or Javonte? He says, love.
Pollard.
Jordan Love, or you just love us?
Wait,
Rob
Javonte.
says,
wow. Ooh, where do I have
I have
these guys
Pollard
ranked?
higher, which I might regret that statement because Javonte's getting absolutely fed work, but I think this is the week that Pollard has to get it done.
I have Javonte at 9, Pollard at 10.
So I have Javonte really. So a lot of people in the running back tier list video were like, "You're too low on Javonte," which is weird because I feel like I'm the notorious Javonte truther. But
Minnesota's been a lot better. I'll give you credit for that. Minnesota's been a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm scared of Javonte a little. And it's not really that I don't think he's like a good play, but like, dude, Brian Robinson doesn't have Antonio Gibson this week. Like, I would play Brian Robinson over Javonte Williams. Like, that might be a hot take, but like, dude, it's the Giants and B-Rob has no Gibson.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And like James Conner, I think, is a better play than Javonte as well because he's in a really good game environment. Javonte isn't. I have both Lions and both Dolphins running backs ahead of Javonte Williams as well.
Yeah. Okay. For play.
Trident says starter sit Stafford or Levis. I'm going Stafford. They're not even close. I
love Stafford
flex,
this week.
Najee, Judy, or JSN.
Najee. I guess Warren got slated the starter in Cleveland. Probably go Judy here.
I think I would go JSN to be honest, because Lockett hasn't practiced all week. He's going to play by the sounds of it, but I think if Lockett is limited in any way, I think I go Smith and Jigba here because I honestly like the two Alabama Crimson Tide guys in this question. They're just so fucking frustrating. I don't want to have to deal with them.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I think it would be between.
Najee's been a lot better recently, but I think it's a tough enough matchup that I would just favor JSN.
I think it would be between Judy and JSN, and I would probably go with the upside JSN, knowing, like he said, that Lockett's been banged up all week. Start sit HN or Waddle. I gotta go with HN there.
That's tough.
That's close, but
that's really tough.
Man,
oof, that is tough. It depends what your situation is, dude. If you need a win and you're playing a good team this week, you got to go with the upside HN gives you. But the safe and smarter play, in my opinion, would be to wait a week and play Waddle. But you could very well have what happened to me back in week 4 and HN drops 57 points on your bench or whatever he ended up doing. So it's all about your risk tolerance. Hey, shout out D-Bell.
Shout out D-Bell, baby. He's the newest tone setter. I have both Dallas and Cleveland DST on my team. Which to start? So Cleveland going up against Pittsburgh. You got to go with the Cowboys against the Panthers. 10.5.
Yeah, Cowboys are my number 1 defense on the week. They're also at home, I believe. And the
on the road.
The Browns, I think, are on the road, if I'm not mistaken.
The Cowboys are on the road. The Browns are at home.
Oh, I have it completely backwards. Anyways.
All jokes aside, though, like I
pick on Bryce Young. Unfortunately, you got to be picking on Bryce Young these days.
Dude, like a receiver core with this, like, who's the fastest receiver in that Panthers room going up against the Cowboys?
Well, Mingo for sure, but he's also, and Marshall too. They're both like speedy. They just like
4-5.
They're so indecisive mentally when they run routes that they don't even play fast.
And then you got Adam Thielen run the 4-8 in the slot, who's going to get like 11 targets for like 45 receiving yards in this game.
Yeah, I think, like the whole idea, like in scouting, when we're like, oh, he plays fast, or like it's game speed or whatever. Like, I'm kind of ready to do away with 40 times once MPH stuff becomes very widely available. Because I look at a guy like Josh Downs, who all he did was play fast at North Carolina, and he runs like a 4.49 in the 40-yard dash. And I'm like, I don't really like. I could tell when I watch Josh Downs that he's smart enough to know where he's going, and he's fast and athletic enough to get where he needs to be. But then when he runs at the combine, people are like disappointed. Yeah, and how many times have we seen a guy like Jonathan Mingo or Terrace Marshall like absolutely rip the combine up and not play fast on film? Yeah, also, this is ridiculous. What?
Hey, you took that guy, you took him around the shoulder, you say, hey, buddy, we're going to go somewhere right now. So
and it's
you
the
grab them, but
dude, I would take this trade. I would actually consider this, if you were a contender in Dynasty, a good trade. Yeah. Let alone in redraft, this is a fleece of the century. This is a redraft trade, but in Dynasty, I actually don't think that's a bad trade.
I agree. Howell or Fields? I actually have Howell higher.
Yeah, I have Howell higher as well.
HN or Tank at the flex, already starting Mostert. I'm just going double Dolphin.
Both up. Don't care.
Double Dolphin, baby.
Double Dolphin, but I mean, if you want to be like pessimistic on HN getting a full workload, and Tank's been really good lately, like I don't mind playing Tank there, but I'm fine just going double Dolphin.
I have both Mostert and HN in my top 12 for the record.
So do I. And I have Montgomery and Gibbs both in my top 9.
Fuck. Damn. Home league, 10-man full PPR, Goff, CMC, Robinson, Keenan, St. Brown, CD Laporta. No question. Thanks. Appreciate that
Just flexing
Billy
the
guy.
team.
Yeah, I respect the hustle, man. That is what's up. That's what's up.
Looks like a good
Appreciate
squad
the super
there.
chat. Hey guys, HN to the moon, Waddle or Kincaid. So HN to the moon. Hopefully he's just the type of guy you want to see go off because he's so fun to watch play.
Oh, I like, even though I traded him, so a couple weeks ago I traded him in my home league. I didn't have a choice. I was starting to lose games, and I had to trade him. So I traded Christian Kirk and Achane for Kenneth Walker, and who was the other guy I traded for? Kenneth Walker and somebody else. And then I traded Kenneth Walker and got Tony Pollard and Drake London in the trade back. But anyways, Achane, I have 17% exposure on underdog, so I need this dude to keep popping off because, and also my team that's currently in 149th in the entire contest out of 650,000 people has Achane on it. So I have the double cuck Mostert Achane stack on that team.
The double Dolphin cuck is awesome. Also, Waddle and Kincaid. I still gotta go with Waddle, but I do really like Kincaid. Obviously, the Jets really tough matchup on the outside for those Bills receivers.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be a Kincaid feasting today. And at the end of the stream, I didn't do it last time. If you guys were wondering what happened to me last week, at the end of the stream, I had a colonoscopy the next day, so I had to take laxatives all day on Sunday. And that's also how my fantasy matchup went. It felt like is me taking laxatives all day. But I literally like had to go to the bathroom at the end of the stream. And that's why I literally left so quickly.
Real quick, by the way, question I have for you. Are you leaning Charbonnet or Khalil Shakir right now in a PPR league? Keep my eyes. I already have Kincaid and Diggs. So would you not?
Do you have Allen too?
I do have Allen. Yeah.
Fucking load it up.
Fucking right, buddy. By the way, based off last week when Allen had that terrible game, I rebranded.
I feel like Josh Allen is never the quarterback who has 2 bad games in a row, though.
No.
He's always like, if he has a bad game, he takes that shit personally and he beats the crap out of the next team that he plays.
Yeah, dude, he takes it personally. He wants to build that MVP campaign. I respect it.
But anyways, at the end of the stream, we're going to build out a anytime touchdown bet like we do every time. So if you guys have a guy that you think is going to score a touchdown for sure this week, we will throw it into the parlay.
Puga Nakua.
Puga. Yeah, I would go Puka, but I like all of these options a lot this week. Like I really like I really like Singletary. I really like Collins, and I really like Puka this week. So
where do you think I have Puka ranked?
Probably at like 14.
A little higher.
I have him at 14, which is why I said that.
I'm at 10.
12?
10.
Nice.
Yeah, we stand the Puka. I also do have him in my home league, so that's probably part of it. Start 10, 12 team super flex and 9th tanking. Should I sell Eckler for? If you're in 9th tanking, you should just sell Eckler.
Yeah, Eckler would be off my team for any first round pick if I was tanking.
Yes, period, all day. Michael does have a super
which is here. I guess what it currently is too.
Okay, so Michael, do you have a? He says, okay, bench 1, Waddle, Ayuk, Evans, Devontae.
Jesus, I didn't
want. I have Devontae the lowest, I believe.
Yeah, Devontae's got to be your benched option there because the Chiefs are pretty good against wide receivers, but I don't want to bench any of these guys.
What are we doing here? They're all into my top 15.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty crazy question. If I were you, Michael, I would send out an offer after this week is over. If you still have your trade deadline, I would send out an offer of like whatever one of these guys has a great week, like Evans, Ayuk, Waddle, or whatever. Send them plus Devontae Smith and go after Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson or Stephon Diggs or somebody like that.
Give me Jay Herbo. Give me Jay Herbo.
Yeah, I'll take Herbert this week as well.
So we are all caught up.
Both pretty tough matchups though, because I think the Dolphins are going to run the ball a lot more than they're going to pass the ball. The Raiders are pretty bad against the run.
Hey, you're hoping that too, because in the listener league, I have the Tyreek Tua stack. So
I already have given up hope in that league, dude. My team is just not good enough.
I mean, you can get hot. Like for me, I'm still somehow sitting.
I don't have Bijan or Jonathan Taylor this week, dude. Yeah, like if you lose to me, you suck. Like play some defense, like for real.
Facts. K9 over HN. Jeff.
Oh, I didn't realize you had Andrews. That means I'm playing against Andrews in this league and in my home league. I faced the Lamar Andrews stack, and when Lamar was hurt too, I was like, holy shit, it's looking good for me. But then Lamar came back and dropped 25 points on me, but whatever.
K9 over HN. I go HN there, Carlos. I go HN. Sorry, this is why I did that.
Also, why don't I have Trey McBride in my flex right now?
we all caught up, by the way. Super. So let's go to the top.
Okay, real quick. Let me ask you this question. I have to put Trey McBride in my lineup. Like I have
All
to.
day.
He's
tight end 7 for me this week. What?
Well, over my flex options, who would you sit of Jahan Dotson and Cortland Sutton? And Tyler Lockett, too, because he hasn't practiced all week, so you could maybe consider him. You would sit Lockett, and you'd play Dotson and Sutton over those guys?
They're all close enough for me, in my opinion, to the point where I just kind of don't want to deal with the health issue. I just lowered Lockett down to wide receiver 36 for me. I'd probably go Brandon Cooks over. Actually, I would go Brandon Cooks over him, to be honest. I don't want to deal with it, dude. He's been playing with a hamstring injury for a while, but this week it literally sounds like he's been like hurt by it. He hasn't practiced. He's a true game time decision. I don't want to deal with that. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, last time he was on the field, he dropped 23 points.
Oh, for sure.
Last week. He literally dropped 23 points last week.
Yeah, he probably re-aggravated it.
Or 3 weeks ago, sorry.
Probably re-aggravated it. I don't know. I always get a little gimpy when it comes to older wide receivers.
I know what you mean, but it's like, is Jahan Dotson and Cortland Sutton good enough to sit him though?
Sutton for sure is. Dotson, that's the one. That's
I like the Giants are going to get lit up today. Like I'm feeling a light up the Giants day.
It's just kind of like a fuck it we ball moment, you know.
For the record, I've Sutton at 26. You're giving me advice on a matchup that is versus you.
Oh, I'm doing that on purpose. I'm getting in your head. I'm giving you the honest answer because it's getting in your head.
Because you know he's going off, essentially.
Well, not even that, but more so whatever I tell you, like I honestly believe for the record, but whatever I tell you, now you're going to overthink it now.
For sure.
That's one of my favorite fucking mental tactics. Half PPR, need a flex, Lockett, Osborne, McBride, tight end is Laporta. You go McBride here. Big Trey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just did this decision. So, yes, I would go McBride.
So we're all caught up on the supers. Let's rip these off like a Band-Aid. Like catch up as many as we can.
All the way back here to 11:31 a.m. Dylan was the first one in here. Apologies to make you wait this long, Dylan. He says, good morning. Need one flex. It's not even morning anymore. PPR, Derrick Henry, Metcalf, McLaurin, or Ridley. Have Brian Robinson at RB2 and Kirk at wide receiver 2. Yeah, I would agree. Those are the right plays at your positionals. And I think I'm going. I think in full PPR, I would go Terry McLaurin over Derrick Henry. That would probably be the decision point for me, and I think I'm going Terry over Derrick.
I don't mind that.
Rolando says, "Sup, fellas? Flex Henderson, Thielen, or Rice? Definitely Adam Thielen."
Thielen, like I said, could go 11 targets for 45 yards, but he'll probably get like 7 catches. Like he's got such a safe floor because he gets targeted like any other receiver in the league. Or better than
and with Reich taking over the play calling, maybe that helps the offense a little bit. I don't know because I think Reich's not a good coach. But Bailey says, "What's up? Full PPR tight end premium. Start Howell or Kyler? I'm starting Kyler over Howell personally.
I have Kyler at quarterback 7.
Flex. Tank Dell, Hollywood, Ingram, McBride starting a tight end. Brian. Okay, so Brian Robinson is actually my highest ranked player. He says, okay, I think that's a different. Is this a different question, Mostert or Sutton, or is this the same one? Need two. Okay, so Mostert and B-Rob would be my two answers for that. But if the third guy would be Hollywood, if there was a third guy.
Yep. By the way, only ask your questions once. I don't want to see it asked 6 times in the chat, please. I'm not referencing anybody, but I am.
AMG, what's going on? Nuke says Kincaid or Kittle. I currently have Kittle in. DJ Moore and Addison at flex. Should I swap the flex and roll with 2 tight ends? Honestly, dude, like. That's close, man. Would you play Kincaid over Addison or DJ Moore? I want Kittle in my lineup because I think the 49ers.
I got Kincaid over Kittle.
I go Kincaid and Kittle.
Let's go Kincaid and Kittle. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I think I would go Kincaid and Kittle. Which guy are you taking out, Addison or Moore?
Moore. Wait. Oh, fuck. I have Jordan Addison.
I have Addison lower. So I would
21. Oh, I have DJ Moore at 16. Yeah. That's tough, man. Like they're both back in wide receiver 2s. Yeah, fair play. Yeah, no, I have more higher. By the way,
I would take Addison out and put Kincaid in there.
Shout out to Spicy with the blue wrench.
Facts. Dobbs or Fields? I'm gonna go Fields there. I think Fields.
I have Dobbs inside my top 12 almost. I have him at 12 on the dot.
I actually have them 14 and 15 respectively, but I do have Fields 1 spot higher.
Respectable. I mean, sorry for not being able to answer that, but like they honestly are like kind of similar plays, like boom bust, athletic quarterbacks. If you want to trust the
I mean,
talent
you
of
got a
Fields
better
more than
matchup
Dobbs,
with Denver versus Detroit, but Denver's been playing really well lately on
they
defense. So
have.
I don't know. Like
They
we
have.
didn't expect Denver to be a bad defense coming into the year. Like we
No.
expected them to be a good defense.
It,
So it's possible that they're
it,
just playing better.
it feels as if like they got the 70 dropped on them, they learned from it, and now they're fucking ripping. Now they're ripping.
Yeah.
Half PPR start quarterback, Goff or Murray. I would go with Kyler Murray there, Justin. Start tight end, Laporta, Kincaid, McBride. What? That is how do you have all three of these tight ends, man?
Yeah, this is brutal. I mean, maybe
He's
it's
trading one of them
dynasty
this
league
week.
and you just are set up. If this is a dynasty league, bro, you're literally chilling at tight end for the next 10 years.
You're going just with Laporta and Kincaid, right? With the flex. Laporta in the tight end and Kincaid in the flex, right?
No, I would play McLaurin over both of the like either of those tight ends. I love McLaurin this week, dude. I think he's a great play. He was nearly my start of the week at wide receiver.
I don't mind that.
Marquise is my start of the week, but I nearly made McLaurin the start of the week.
I don't mind that. Yeah, where we left off though.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to set my lineups as well. Steve says 12-team Superflex start 8. Start Devontae or Marquise. Leaning towards Marquise due to targets. So it's tough because with Devontae, AJ Brown has a tough shadow matchup. So it actually would make sense that Devontae Smith has a good week. But at the same time, the Chiefs in general have been very good against wide receivers, and Marquise's game total is higher. So I personally would go with Marquise Brown, but Devontae Smith is also a pretty good play.
Yeah, it's just funny how the Chiefs randomly just have an elite defense the year that Mahomes and the receivers are kind of like not doing well compared to expectations.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean,
no,
if they would let their best receiver on the field more often, then
that would be fantastic. That would.
Also, never thought I'd be saying that about Rashee Rice, but
dude, he's good, man. I could give him
he's
credit.
a good player.
Like,
And when I talked to Harmon
player.
about him, he was like, I didn't expect much from Rashee Rice. He didn't like him coming out of college, nor did we. And he's been a lot better than we thought.
I have to. I mean, I'll ask you after stream because obviously, you know, like we want to get to the questions, but I am curious to like pick your brain a little bit on what you guys were, you know, discussing. And shit.
It was basically like the conversation points were these: Jordan Addison slightly overrated due to the every down player basis. He's been really good for fantasy, but like as a raw player, he's like slightly overrated. Zay Flowers stud. He says he's the best receiver in this class is what he has.
Wow.
Zay Flowers rated as. JSN. Not good, not bad, basically was his takeaway. Quentin Johnston might be one of the bigger busts of this class, basically, was the point of that discussion. Puka Nacua is for real, but he's not ready to – he's for real in that he's a good player and
like
he
a
fits
Juju
their team well, but he's like, I don't also think he's going to like ever have this stretch of production ever again.
So like very like Juju-y,
kind of, yeah, that's a good comp for him. And then it was a Josh Downs glaze fest because we both love Josh Downs. He's like Josh Downs is a stud. Tank Dell, he's like Tank Dell's for real too.
Hey, good players.
Yeah.
Good players.
Good ball players.
Good ball players. Dylan Najee or Pacheco, pick one. I'm going with Pacheco here. Appreciate that, Javon. Hey, shout out Javon back in the chat. Appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, also, Javon, shout out to you playing in real leagues now. Because I remember when you first started asking this question, it was like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley. We're like, I mean, now that's a real discussion. But like in 2020, it wasn't. It was like, you start those guys every week.
Or like he's like pick 2 and he names 4 of my like top 8 receivers. And it's like, fuck, man.
Glad he's playing in some real leagues now.
I respect it. Got Aggie in the chat. Brees or Javonte. If Wilson is out, I'm worried. Oh, yeah, I guess Wilson is questionable, isn't he?
I don't think he's going to be out, though.
So, yeah, like, what's the newest? Again, like, for reference, I'm going to be completely honest, guys. Like, I haven't seen the in or out reports because I was in Cleveland.
Yeah, let me handle the injury stuff because I did both of the
videos,
the wide receiver and the running back videos. But I'll take a look at Russell Wilson's status here. I posted the injury updates as well to those videos. In the pinned comments, and it looks like Madison's going to play today. Achan's going to be good to go, no limitations. Noah Brown was ruled out shortly after I recorded that video, and then also Justin Jefferson was ruled out as well, and like some other things. So there's definitely some stuff here. I don't really see anything about Russell Wilson missing the game, to be honest.
Garrett.
Oh, Garrett Wilson. I was going to say. I was like, Russell Wilson. I thought he was saying Wilson in reference to Javonte.
No.
But Wilson's going to play. He said himself that he was going to play.
Okay,
so he's going to be fine. I wouldn't worry about him.
Hey, he's a good player.
He is a good ball player as well.
Pick one to start. Brandon Cooks, Jackson Smith and Jigbar, or Gabe Davis. These are all like in the same range for me. Call me biased, man. I'm trusting the usage from last week. I like Brandon Cooks in this matchup against Carolina.
Yeah, if the Bills weren't playing the Jets, I would say just roll with Gabe Davis and go for the upside. But like Gabe Davis's career history against the Jets is not good. A guy that doesn't get a lot of separation against those sticky and physical of corners, not a good combo. So I probably wouldn't roll with Gabe Davis. If we hear anything about Tyler Lockett being like limited or something, then maybe I would go JSN over Cooks, but I think I would lean Cooks as well.
Yeah, I agree there. So we're caught up on supers for now. I'll keep an eye on them while I'm simultaneously checking if any late second outs on my lineups.
Bush
by the
way, is that this guy's name?
Bushmami.
Is this an homage to me or is this just a coincidence?
I don't know. That's kind of jokes though. What's up? Morning.
Howell. Yeah, exactly. Mitchell says Sam Howell or Justin Fields. I think we've answered this question for like 4
That's what I was going to
already.
point out. It's the most common question of the stream, apparently.
Yeah, Sam Howell's the answer there. And also start one in the flex. Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Jahan Dotson, Saquon Barkley. I'm going Chris Godwin there, dude. I think he has a good matchup this week.
The fact that if you had pointed this start sit at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't have believed you. Start sit, Godwin, Dotson, Lockett, and Barkley. Like Barkley would stick out like a sore thumb, but at this point, with Danny DeVito's bastard son, like I like to reference him to, low implied points, I don't want to fucking deal with the Giants offense. I don't.
Yeah, he does in fact play like Danny DeVito would play.
He does.
Oh, also, in our FSC Listener League Dynasty, I have such bad running backs that like when I actually have a decent start at running back, it's hilarious to me. And Chris Rodriguez is actually a half decent, like low end flex play start this week with Antonio Gibson out. So I'm like, oh my God, I have a relevant running back I can put in my lineup.
By the way, dude, look at Javon with the gutty questions, man. I like it. Bellinger, Parham, and Shakir. It's Shakir, but like,
he's in real leagues now. He's grown up.
Dude, I love that, man. Good shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan says, half PPR wide receivers, Wilson, Kirk, Nico, and running backs, Singletary and Achane. Need one wide receiver and one flex. Jeez,
Garrett
man.
Wilson and Achane.
Yeah. I don't want to sit Christian Kirk, man. That is hard.
I don't, but you got to for Garrett Wilson, even if he's like banged up a little bit.
I wouldn't be opposed if you're risk averse on Achane coming off of the injury to play Wilson and Kirk.
I don't hate that, but
then also Wilson is injured right now, so it's like it's sketchy that way. And I also think Singletary and Nico are great plays too. So I mean, here's the answer to your question, Jonathan. Your team is too good, and you're going to be annoyed every given week because you're obviously going to pick wrong. That's just how when I have start sit questions like this or decisions like this, I'm like, whatever I go with,
always get wrong. Yeah, it's tradition. You have where we left off though. We'll keep smashing. Shout out to my boys from FSC.
Cheese accumulator, big DCA as he calls himself in the comments. Shout out to the boys from FSC. What's Chase worth rest of season? I haven't updated my rest of season rankings this week yet, but let's do it on the spot. Where are we putting Jamar Chase?
Well, let me go to my rest of season. I'll ask you this or that. The classic FSC staple for our rest of season rankings. Are you taking Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson rest of season?
Justin Jefferson, not even close.
Are you taking Jamar Chase or Devontae Adams rest of season?
See, Adams, I have a couple spots down. I have Jefferson at 7 and I have Adams at 12. So there's actually quite a few people in between there.
I have Adams at 10. That's why I was asking that. I think that because I think you're taking Kupp. I think you're taking Allen. So I didn't ask that.
So I just moved Chase down to 12 and Adams up to 11. So I would take Adams, but I think that's where the cutoff, because the next player I have after Chase is Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Puka Nacua, and I'll have to move T. Higgins down now too as well because he was up there as well. But like I would take for Chase, he's like a back end wide receiver 1. I would take Keenan Allen over him. I would take Brandon Ayuk over him. I would take Cooper Kupp over him. I would take Mike Evans, who I have higher than him right now, because like realistically, Mike Evans and Jamar Chase are similar types of players, like how they get there. They're big boom performance guys. But Mike Evans has got Baker Mayfield and fucking Jamar Chase has I don't even remember the guy's name.
Jake Browning. Jake Browning. Gotta show some love to the UW legend himself. You don't remember 12-2.
Is he a Washington State quarterback or Washington?
UW baby. 12-2, I believe. 2016 season. 12-2, finished number 5 in the country. 43 touchdown passes. I think he had was top 5 in the Heisman voting. And then he just completely plateaued in the rest of his UW career. Because he was
Yeah.
throwing to John Ross. He was throwing to Dante Pettis.
There was a period of time, I think, where he was
Miles
like considered
Gaskin.
a real draft prospect. No?
Well, the UW offense, the UW offense comparative to their competition was literally just the Avengers, because literally like all their big skill position players ended up going to the NFL. And I mean, their competition just wasn't there. Like they weren't playing in the SEC. Like they were playing in a weaker Pac-12 at the time. John Ross, Dante Pettis, Miles Gaskin. They had an NFL tight end too, I want to say. I forget who it was. They had an NFL tight end on that team.
No, he's not that old.
Yeah, shout out to that UW team.
Also, so I told you about in our Devy League how I'm literally sitting Trevor Lawrence because I'm playing Sam Howell and Dak Prescott this week. I'm doing the same thing in our Tone Setters League. I'm playing Sam Howell and Brock Purdy over Justin Fields.
Wow.
Like, would you do that, or would you sit Purdy or Howell for Fields?
I actually have both of them higher, so I agree with that.
Keep in mind, too, I also have stacks built around those players because I am also playing Jahan Dotson, and I'm also playing Ayuk, Kittle, and McCaffrey. So, like, it makes sense for me to play those players also, but then Justin Fields, like, playing Justin Fields naked always works out, too, because he drops 40 points with his legs.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But this is a sketchy decision. Also, Odell Beckham is casually on my team in this league, and he just had, like, 16 points on Thursday Night Football randomly.
He's going to sell high. No, I'm kidding. Here, we got Deontay Johnson or Christian Watson. Give me Deontay Johnson there, Jonathan.
I don't actually mind Christian Watson this week, but yeah, give me Deontay Johnson.
The involvement. So my team right now is Herbert, Mixon, Pacheco, Keenan, Debo, Kelsey, Shakir, McBride, and Sky. Is there anybody you could put in over Sky?
You can what? Sorry, with Sky?
I said, is there anybody he could put in over Sky? Because Sky's in his lineup right now.
I don't think Sky's in his lineup. I think this is just his team.
Oh, that's literally enough players.
I guess it's a pretty shallow league then if it wasn't his starting lineup. Yeah, don't start Sky Moore if that's what you're doing.
Don't. I don't even want to roster him at this point.
Yeah, no, he's not even rosterable.
Chandler, Madison, Herbert, Flex. Oh, these are all committee running backs, man. Where do you lean here? I think Foreman's going to lead the Bears this week, at least for what it's worth.
I don't. I think Herbert will. They actually came out and said that Madison and Chandler are going to split touches. So to me, I actually just want to stay away from that situation. I would go with Herbert personally.
I don't mind going with Herbert, but I do think that Foreman's going to out-touch him in this game.
I don't, because Foreman was coming into the game questionable, and Justin Herbert, Khalil Herbert has been cleared like way ahead of time. Like he was active for a long time, and he was practicing before Thursday night's game last week.
So then I pose the question to you: are you starting Deontay Foreman or Zach Charbonnet in a league?
Charbonnet, probably better game environment. I guess the game environments are good for both situations, but more implied points for the Seahawks than the Bears.
Yeah, the reason why I asked is like. Plus, I don't know, though, because if the Bears are inside the 5, Foreman's getting the ball.
No, I don't. I think Herbert could get the ball. Yeah. Herbert was like their lead back before this happened.
And then Foreman's been so good since he took over.
He's been solid. He hasn't been so good.
Comparative to the blocking in front of him, he's been very good.
Yeah, but Herbert was like really good before he got hurt.
I think Foreman's been better this year when he's played.
I don't think so at all. I think Herbert was much better.
I don't know. We'll see. James Cook or Rashee Rice? Gotta go Cook.
So, yeah, I would go with Cook. And I talked about this on the running back tier list show. Sneaky underrated thing for James Cook is that Joe Brady's now the offensive coordinator, who, of course, deployed Clyde Edwards-Helaire very well at LSU. And my comp for James Cook coming out of school was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So it's kind of full circle here. And I would love to see Cook get more involved in the passing game, especially this week, too, because the Jets are not good against the run. And they're also going to probably lock up Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis, and Josh Allen's going to need to throw somewhere. I think this is a very much a Kincaid and James Cook type of game.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that. By the way, I'm just looking at the implied yardage totals for Foreman and Charbonnet. So 34.5 with a half touchdown is the implied rushing total and touchdown total for Deontay Foreman. 38 yards from scrimmage and half a rushing touchdown for Charbonnet. So, I mean, the betting market actually slightly prefers Charbonnet overall because of receiving work. Sure. Yeah, so, you know what? Okay, I'll listen this time. I'll listen. Plus, two, I would rather watch the Seahawks offense. I'm not going to lie. That's also a tiebreaker. Bench one full PPR, Rice, Cooper, or Lockett?
I'm benching Lockett there.
Yeah, I will too. I will too. No question, just flexing Kyler, Eckler, Javonte, Gibbs. Oh my God. Y'all help me get through rough Gibbs, Javonte weeks early. I mean, now you're prospering and that team is fucking dominant going forward. So nice squad you got
that
there,
would have been
Cameron.
tough to get by, though, because those guys were not doing much early on in the year.
For sure. Now, I mean, you got a couple potential league winners on your hands. Bench one, Nico, Ayuk, Debo, Javonte. You're benching Nico here, right?
Yeah, I don't want to, but
I don't either.
probably. I mean, if you wanted to bench somebody, for the sake of there's like a fucking fruit fly on my face right now.
There always is.
I don't know where the fruit flies come from when I'm recording shit. Like I never see them any other time.
Hey, they see you and they love it.
I guess. But Nico Collins over Debo is probably a close discussion. And because you're already starting Ayuk, I don't mind just going with Ayuk, Nico, and Javonte Williams because Debo has been really inconsistent this year. He has not been consistent game in and game out. And he had I think the 49ers will score against the Bucks. But like I said, there's also this parallel universe where the Bucks hold the 49ers to a low scoring total.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I don't mind that. For reference, Debo's at 22, Nico's at 25, but because you have Ayuk, yeah, I don't mind varying that. Also, this just made me fucking laugh, Bush. They come from fruit, boss.
Yeah, true. They do come from fruit.
Traded D-Hop and Monty for Diggs redraft smash. Absolute smash. Give me Diggs all day, every day, twice on Sundays.
That's wild. There you go.
Afternoon, guys. I'm in a basketball with my RB2 with Bijan on bye and my usual RB2 Javonte taking his spot. Would you go Khalil Herbert, Jalen Warren for me? Jalen Warren. All day. He's already gone. Tom's already gone.
Warren higher, but it's getting close, knowing that Herbert's in a better spot. Hey. I'll go with Warren as well, just because I want to see. I think I said it on the running back video that if you don't have to start a Bears running back, don't. You want to see what the workload kind of shakes out to be, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Herbert came out and ran 65% of the snaps either.
Yeah, that's fair. Those are my starters. My bench is Jonathan Mingo, Bellinger, Dillon, and Najee. I would definitely go Najee.
Yeah, I mean,
over
Najee
Sky.
needs to be in your lineup over Sky Moore, 100%.
For sure. He's got Bijan, Demario Douglas on bye, Noah Brown out. That's fair.
Jeez,
yeah, no, I would go
bench,
Najee.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's in big boy leagues, man. I respect it.
Leagues, yes.
Gross, but Royce Freeman or Ty Chandler, full PPR. So Royce Freeman against the Seahawks, Ty Chandler against
Denver. I would go Ty Chandler. They came out that they said that Madison and him are going to split work in a full PPR league. That is Chandler's role as well in the offense. But I will say Royce Freeman, I think he's gotten 65% of the short down and distance and red zone work since him and Darrell Henderson has been splitting the workload. So he actually has a chance to score in this game, but I would say Ty Chandler is probably the better play.
Him and Kareem Hunt are very, very similar in their usage where they see the majority role, but they get the inside the 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm starting to realize that too now is I was such a usage whore. I'd be like, who's getting the more snaps, this and that. It's like, dude, you have to also contextualize the uses. If you're getting 60% of the snaps, but none of the inside the 5 work, guess what? The guy who's getting 40% of the snaps, but all of the inside the 5 work, it should be ranked higher in your rankings.
Yeah, it's like you're the Chris Godwin of your running back core. It's like you get all the useless work.
Yeah, no, 100%. Full PPR, who should I start? Njoku, Parham, or Pat Freiermuth? You're going Njoku here, right? Pretty easily. This is pretty easily Njoku for me.
Yeah, I would go Njoku. I don't think it's pretty easily Njoku. Freiermuth is back this week
against Cleveland.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for either guy. It's the same game environment. So I would take Njoku though. Should I start Quentin Johnston in any league that I have him? I mean, instead of Garrett Wilson? Fuck no, dude. I ain't start Quentin Johnston until he proves that he can do anything of relevance. I mean, he scored a touchdown last week, but whatever. That might be his only touchdown this year.
Yeah, for real. Jalen Warren, Deontay Johnson, PPR flex. You're going with the receiver,
Deontay, right? Especially in PPR.
Amen. So we're caught up on supers. Let's try to smash as many. What time are we at?
11:40 a.m.
Okay, let's try to get to 12 if we can.
Yeah, let's do our best to get to 12. At 12:55, I'm going to ask you guys to leave me down below some anytime touchdown scores. I'm going to do a 3-leg parlay. And I already have one in there that I'm being a psycho about, and I'm putting Christian Watson in. So I need 2 more touchdown scores this week. Ideally, not super, super heavy favorites, but not super long shots either. I got 2 quick questions.
Wait. Does Pollard get plus money?
No, somehow he's getting minus money right now.
I was gonna say if he was getting plus money, you might have to go back to the well.
James Conner is getting plus money right now, though, which is what I have in one of my other ones. I already have it in another one, so I'm not going to do that one. But
Dude,
I got two quick questions.
Wait.
Fields or Murray? I'm going Murray. Komet or McBride? I'm going McBride.
I agree with both of those. A quick thing, by the way. I wouldn't even mind a James Conner 2+ touchdowns bet because I really think that's a possibility, and I can imagine
I do
the
too.
odds.
I actually think Singletary has a chance to punch 2 in as well in the same game.
Yeah, I dig that. So let's keep ripping. Yep. Should I start Higbee or Conklin? No tight end premium, full PPR with Stafford back.
I like Conklin better. He always gets a consistent like 5-6 targets a game.
Fair. I just Stafford back. I too like Higbee though.
It's gross regardless how you slice that.
For sure. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Sharky, baby shark. Happy Sunday, fan. PPR start Stroud or Kyler, who's catching more passes, dude. I'm taking CJ Stroud there.
I have Kyler 2 spots higher. I'd actually go with Kyler.
Really? You have Kyler higher than Stroud this week?
Yeah, I think we're getting prime Kyler back. Kyler back.
We haven't made a single bet today, so let's do a Stroud versus Kyler.
We'll do a single bet. I feel like we, to be fair, because I was in Ohio, I've kind of just like haven't had like as staunch stances on certain players, but that's probably part of it. But yeah,
right. Oh, he also says start Warren or Ridley at flex. I'd go Ridley, even though he's been disgusting this year.
By the way, we got
the win in your league. Which side do you take? Waddle, Jacobs, DJ, or AJ Brown? Waddle, Jacobs, and DJ Moore is too much to give up, or Deontay John, whoever that is. It's too much to give up for AJ Brown, in my opinion.
Half PPR, who to start? Amari, Cooks, Judy, or Rice? I think. I'm
gonna still start Cooper, even though I don't love it.
Amari at 32 for me. Cooks at 35. Judy at 39.
Rice, I think I have in the mid-30s as well. I have Cooper the highest of that group.
I technically have Rice the highest, but I probably would drop him below Cooper. Yeah, so I moved him down a little bit. He was at 30. I moved him to 32 because I would start Cooper, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ed
says start 2 of 3: Devontae Smith, DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin. Wow, dude, I gotta look at who I have the lowest of this group because I'm pretty sure they're all really highly ranked for me.
Fuck, same, man.
I have. Who do I have the lowest here? What do we got? Where are you?
They're all top 20 guys.
I'm in my rest of season rankings. I'm brain dead. Hold on. I have Smith at 16, McLaurin at 22, and DJ Moore at 18. So McLaurin would be the guy that I sit there. But I think
I have McLaurin at 19.
Close enough between DJ Moore and McLaurin that you could go with either one of those guys.
I have Smith at 15, Moore at 16, McLaurin at 19. So I do agree that McLaurin's a sit.
Lost Burrow for the season. Would you trade Sutton for Purdy and Noah Brown? Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Half PPR pick 3, K9, Rashad, Achane, and Brees. You're sitting Rashad.
Yeah, I don't like it though. It's between him and K9. If you're worried about the Achane usage, I don't mind sitting Achane for the first week back.
I don't think I could look myself in the mirror if I sat Achane and he popped off on my bench.
But Rashad White has literally been an RB1 in 4 straight games. So
no, he's been good.
I would play Achane over him, but I don't think it's outrageous to say that you should sit Achane first back.
Full PPR, Devontae or Javonte?
It's funny.
Javonte. Williams.
I've taken Smith.
Full PPR? You want to bet
it? Yeah, that's the tiebreaker. If it was half or standard, I would take Javonte, but I want Smitty there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Luga.
That's my cousin.
PPR pick 2, Brian Robinson, Mike Evans, or Hollywood Brown. I'm gonna go. Jeez, dude, that's tough. Who do you like here?
Robinson, Evans, or Hollywood? You have to pick 2. I
think I'm sitting Brian Robinson, but I really like him this week.
I am too. Yeah, I am too. Fair play.
Okay. Danny, can you monitor the bottom in the comment section for me? While I answer a couple more questions, leave me down below. What do you guys want to see me put out for a anytime touchdown scorer to go along with Christian Watson? I'm going to do 3 total players, Christian Watson being one of them. So I need 2 more touchdown scorers. Let me know who the people are saying there at the bottom of the comments. Bailey says, good day. What's going on?
Good day.
Grindzer. You
Wait.
got a super
Oh,
there.
here, go back. Sorry, we clicked the comment.
Addison Ford or Smith at flex. I'm rolling Smith there.
Smith. Yep. Half PPR sit one. Jacob, Javonte, HN, and Trey or Dalton. Wait.
I'm sitting Javonte there.
Yeah. Javonte versus HN, so close.
I'm sitting Javonte. I have Javonte a decent amount lower.
Fuck, actually?
I have
Half
Javonte at
PPR.
like 16 versus HN's at 10 for me.
For what it's worth, I have Javonte a little bit higher, but like they're both
Yeah.
RB1s for me.
Yeah, I mean Javonte's getting an
tough.
RB1 workload. I'm just concerned with the actual matchup. And there's a lot of good plays this week. It's more so about there being a lot of good plays at running back than it is about me not liking Javonte this week. Trey or Dalton. Also, I'm taking Dalton Kincaid over Trey McBride this week. Fields or Howell? Again, another question there. Sam Howell. Anybody who has Howell questions, I have him at 12, and I have him ahead of Fields and Purdy if you have those options to go between. Spicy God says Goff or Howell. I literally have Goff at 11 and Howell at 12. So I would play
I
Goff,
think I have
but
the
they're
exact same.
back-to-back.
I have Goff at 13, Howell at 14. Like,
yeah. I think I'd roll with Goff. Just go with the implied points there. Good morning, gentlemen. What's going on, Jonathan?
Sure.
Rashad White or Cortland Sutton? Definitely
half
Rashad
APR White. Yeah.
Yeah. Toronto Dave, what's going on? Bryson, it's a great morning, boys. What up? It's exactly what I needed this morning. What up? What up? RB2, PPR, Mostert, Monty, Warren, Khalil. I am picking Mostert.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Montgomery there, actually.
Oh, I didn't see Monty. Yeah.
Season.
They're fucking close. I don't know where to put Mostert.
HN or Adams? I'm rolling Adams there. I talk drift.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah.
I think we answered this from Seth already, but definitely do not trade Kyler away for a mid-first and a mid-third. Even though I think a mid-first this year is a really valuable pick because I love the class, but I'm not trading Kyler for that level.
Real quick, we didn't actually see what the scores were for our going nuts picks.
Did we not?
And Brown. I don't think we did.
Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, so my going nuts pick was Brandon Ayuk. Danny's was Marquise Brown. Leave us 1, 2, or 3 in the comment section.
How spicy.
1 being spiciness of low magnitude, and 3 being super spicy, 2 being somewhere in the middle.
Our apologies,
and Danny as Marquise Brown.
Our apologies if you guys did comment them. We weren't able to see at the time. So yeah, again, Brandon Ayuk, Marquise Brown, just grade that. Marquise Brown is the answer.
Chandler, Deontay Johnson, Marquise. Okay,
Chandler.
You're not playing Ty Chandler with Madison active.
Yeah.
Puga
Nagua.
Who are people saying? Because I got to get this bet off before 1 p.m.
Touchdown Singletary, ETN anytime touchdown. Brandon Ayuk question mark.
I like Ayuk. That's a good one.
Pollard, Hollywood, Keenan Allen. Both catch up 1 for the going nuts. Everybody's saying 1 for both. Going nuts 1.5 both. 1. Yeah, everybody's pretty much saying 1 for the going nuts picks, which is probably about fair. I'd say it's a 1 or a 2. Like it's probably on the borderline there, right?
Yeah. Keenan Allen is
1,
plus
Brown
120.
2.
I don't mind that one. I just don't love that game to post a lot of points, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll. Somebody said ETN. I'm going to roll with ETN as one of them.
Mims Jr. for a touchdown bet.
That's psycho.
I respect it. I want to see what the odds are on that.
Yeah, it's probably pretty high. I'm going to go with Travis Etienne, and I'm going to go with Ayuk. Actually, no, I want to keep it in the 1 p.m. window. Who are the other names that were said?
Yep.
Singletary. I'm going to go Singletary and Etienne.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Christian Watson, Singletary, and Etienne. I'm going to go 15 bones to win $180 there. So we'll get that one cooking. Alrighty, so we are close to 1 p.m. I am going to check out my lineups in the meantime because I do not want to get screwed here. So apologies if we can't get to any more questions, but I don't want to have anybody backdoor shuffle be out in my lineup. Even though I'm pretty certain
we may as well just sign off here. Do the Bucks play at 1 as well?
They do.
So
no, they don't. Sorry, they play 4. They play 4.
Fair enough. Regardless, so Cowboys play at 1. Probably gonna make another coffee, get ready for the game. It's basically 1 p.m. anyway. So with that being said.
By the way, sorry, if you ever come to Waterloo and you want some good pizza, dude, Famoso, so good. Uptown Waterloo, it's unbelievable, bro. Me and Maria went there for dinner last night. I was like floored at how good of the pizza was. And it's like a sit-down pizza place, not like a takeout pizza place.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'd definitely be down. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a good place. Anyways,
if I'm in Waterloo anyways.
All the supers and stuff.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even see that more came in. There's 2 more that came in. Achane, Gibbs, or Aaron
I would
Jones.
go with Gibbs here, but it is 1 p.m. already. I will hope you
Gibbs.
went with Gibbs.
Gibbs, Flex, Waddle, Nico, Mostert. You
I'd
are
go
going
Waddle
with
there.
Yeah. All right. So we're caught up now. Hopefully you guys got that in. With that being said, peace out. Good luck in your matchups. Go clinch those playoff spots. Take care.
Yeah, hopefully no more quarterback